Hello and welcome. My name is Malia Lim. I'm on a mission to help women in STEM be confident leaders. And today I want to talk to you about how to stand out as a job applicant or when you're applying for jobs. So nowadays, the job market is super tough. You have to network, you have to get referrals, you have to really do a little bit extra more than just applying. And I'm actually having a masterclass next month on this. So if you need more help, the link is in the description. But I don't want to talk about the networking piece of it today because that's the new baseline, right? Like everybody kind of understands they need to network, they need to get referrals, they need to kind of get their foot through the door in more ways than just the application. And if that's news to you, make sure you sign up for the masterclass, or if you need help with that and giving out scripts, exact positions you need to be networking with, who you need to be asking questions of, what questions to ask, how to use their answers in your negotiations and making sure that you stand out as an applicant, all of that good stuff. But still, like I said, that's the new baseline for applying for jobs nowadays with mass layoffs and just a really tough market. It's getting harder and harder to stand out. My mentor, she also does a lot of recruiting, and they're saying they're getting almost thousands, like hundreds, if not 1,000 applications for job positions. And just making it through the AI screening process, they're still seeing hundreds of applications that actually make it to their desk. And so you need to be networking, you need to get your foot in through the door, but how do we still, yes, we're in a digital age, and using LinkedIn and getting on Zoom and all of those things are great, but like, how do you still stand out? And so today I want to share with you 3 stories that I think will help kind of demonstrate this out of the box thinking that I want you to kind of start adopting. And it's not for everybody. I will just preface that. It's not going to be for everybody, especially women in STEM and technical. We tend to be a little more introverted, a little shyer. So this might feel really uncomfortable. But if you've ever just really felt like, I want this job and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get it, then this is definitely the video for you. Okay. So if you're not already subscribed to my channel, subscribe, share with a few friends that you know are on the job hunt. And even if you're not on the job hunt, you should be. Like, we always should have a plan B, C, and D, because this job market is volatile. Like, they're doing mass layoffs all the time. You always want to start planting those seeds before you need them. So, anywho, my first story is about the follow-up. Okay. So let's say that you did actually make contact with a recruiter about your application and had a discussion. Maybe you had an initial interview. Um, my mom, when she was hiring, and she told me this when I was looking for an internship in undergrad. Okay. So I've kind of always had this mindset because of this story that she told me. But she told me that one day she was hiring for an assistant and she was really busy because that's why she wanted an assistant, somebody to help her. And she interviewed a couple people, but again, just got really busy and couldn't get around to coming back and actually reaching out and hiring and onboarding and all of that good stuff. Like, hiring people is work. That's why there's full-time recruiters. That's why there's HR departments. It's work for whoever is actually doing it, right? And so she told me that there was this guy that would call and come by the office and kind of just like, he was always around, like, hey, did you decide? Hey, I haven't heard back from you. Hey, I'm here. I'm downstairs. And she at first was a little bit annoyed because she was like, dude, I haven't made a decision. I haven't called anybody. Like, I need some time to get around to it. But then it kind of dawned on her, like, oh, I need an assistant. I need somebody who's proactive. And this guy keeps showing up at the office. Yes, sit at the desk, start right now, basically, is ultimately what ended up happening because she's like, yeah, this is the type of characteristic I need. I need somebody who is a go-getter, who I don't have to tell them or call them, or they're not waiting for my instruction because of how busy she was at the time. She was like, I need somebody who will just do it on their own. And so him constantly showing up, constantly following up, constantly being on the top of her mind made it obvious to her that he was the person for the job. Even though she had liked another applicant more, him constantly following up, constantly showing up was the ultimate factor in him getting the position. So that left an impression on me as a young professional. And so that leads me to story number 2, which is how I got my first job at Chevron. So when I was an undergrad studying mechanical engineering at UC Riverside, one of my classmates had an internship with Chevron, and he was telling us like, oh, it's really great. It's a great company. And then he told me specifically, he was like, you would do really well there. Go try and apply for an internship. And I was like, okay, well, knowing what I knew, that story that my mom had told me, I was like, well, you got to do more than just like submit an application. And I can't put you as my reference. Like, you're another intern. Like, that doesn't mean anything. So, like most colleges have career fairs. And so I noticed that that Chevron was not recruiting at my college, at my university. So I was like, well, like, how am I don't know anybody who works there. I wasn't on LinkedIn at the time. LinkedIn was kind of still not really a thing or very new. So I hit the pavement, and the university up the road from us, Cal Poly Pomona, which is a Cal Poly technical school, Chevron was recruiting there. So I went to their school career fair. I did not go to that school, but I went to their career fair, and I went straight to their booth and I said, I want to work for you. My friend, my classmate, says good things about you. I looked you guys up online. I want to work for you. How do I get a position? And they were like, do you go to the school? And I was like, no, I do not. I go to UC Riverside, but you don't recruit there. And I saw that I looked online and I saw that you guys are going to be recruiting here. So I came here. Tell me what I need to do. And the lady was like, well, we can only interview students that go to this school because we're recruiting at the school, and that's like the way it is. So she was like, well, are you going to be at the NSBE conference, the National Society of Black Engineers, in like the next month? And I was like, yes, I am. As a matter of fact, I'm on the regional board and I'm actually planning that conference. So yeah, I will be there, and I will be organizing you all as vendors. I will be meeting with you the day before to make sure you guys are set up. She was like, perfect. That's amazing. So she was like, okay, well, apply online and then email this email, and we will set you up with an interview at that conference. Long story short, I started my career at Chevron, right? I went to a whole different school. I went straight up to them. I was like, I know I want to work for you, and I'm here in your face. No, I don't belong here. Just like the guy who applied for my mom's position technically didn't belong in their lobby, but he kept showing up. I'm here. I'm showing up. What do I got to do to get in? And I think that kind of determination is not something that comes across on applications. It doesn't come across with referrals or networking and all of that. Like, that level of determination is something that when you show up, especially when you don't belong, it says something about who you are as a professional and what you're willing to do to get the job done, and kind of like your character and how determined you are. And so that leads me to my third story, which I actually just heard. So it's another one of my mom's stories. When I spoke at USC, my mom attended, and then at the networking lunch, she was sitting at the table, and we were sitting with other engineering students, and they were asking us questions. And she shared this story. And I was like, wow, mom, I actually never heard this. So I want to share this story with you because it again is in line with what I'm trying to help demonstrate here is the principle of go show up. But she went to law school at UC Berkeley, and I was a child. I was like in third or fourth grade when she was in law school. Right. And she was a single mom at the time. We hadn't met my now dad. And so it was tough. Law school was tough to begin with, plus with a rambunctious little girl like me, even tougher. And so a lot of law firms will offer internships to students, but they're usually unpaid. Engineers, we're lucky. We usually get paid internships, but a lot of other industries don't pay. And so she was getting offers for unpaid internships, but she had a child. She needed to like pay for school, pay for food, pay for housing. She's not living in the dorms. It's a different situation when you have a family to take care of, right? And so she needed it to be a paid internship. And so she applied for some, but wasn't selected. But she found out where they were going to be doing interviews for it. So she went to the hotel where they were doing interviews, and she went up to the guy who was the partner at the law firm that she wanted to work for. And she said, you didn't pick me. Okay. And that's fine, but I'm here. I want to work for you. If anybody doesn't show up today, would you be willing to interview me? And he was like, people never really don't show up. This is a really competitive position. I don't think you want to waste your time. And she was like, I understand. But if somebody doesn't show up, will you interview me? And he said, all right, sure. If you want to wait around all day, that's up to you. She said, okay, I'm going to be waiting just over here. And so she waited and waited and studied. I mean, she was going to be studying anyways, rather sitting in the library or sitting in a hotel lobby or sitting down studying quietly anyways. So she sat down and studied. And then the guy would come out and kind of was like, oh, she's still here. And she looks and she's like, and he's like, no. Okay, so she keeps sitting there, keeps studying. He comes out for lunch. He sees that she's still here. She's like, yeah, well, me. And he's like, no, I can't believe this lady is still here. So she continues to sit there, and it's going towards the evening. And then he walks over at the end of towards the end of the day, and he says, look, everybody's coming. They're all confirmed. They're here. They're either waiting for their time slot or they've already done. Like, we're done for the day. So I can't interview you. But here is this other firm who had some last minute cancellations. Would you like to interview with them? Yes. She said yes. And they were all of them, all of the partners or the interviewers at that day were impressed that this woman waited, like showed up to where she didn't belong and waited and waited and waited just for the chance at an opportunity. Just waited for the chance at an opportunity to get interviewed, not even get the job. Just give me a moment to try, right? There's no guarantee there, none whatsoever, but she was there determined regardless. She interviewed and ended up getting the job. And when they found out that she took a flight to be there, it was in Southern California. UC Berkeley is in Northern California. She flew down for the chance to sit in the lobby, just the chance to be able to interview. She had no guarantee. That would have been not only a waste of a day, but travel days, the cost of a flight, everything. It didn't matter because she knew what she wanted, and she knew what she had to do was show up just for the opportunity. And she ended up getting the job. And today my mom owns and operates a very successful law firm out of California. So she is a boss lady lawyer. This just shows the type of determination that appeals to recruiters. It appeals to employers. There are, I saw online the other day, 25% of Harvard graduate students, or students that are graduating, 25% of them, woo, hello, they can't find jobs. Harvard graduates, 25% of them cannot find jobs. How are we going to stand out in this market where all of these mass layoffs, people with experience are back on the market? Harvard graduates can't find jobs. It is all about being willing to go the extra mile, being willing to stay determined, like deciding in your mind, I want to work for said company or said 1, 2, 3 companies, and I am going to show up. I'm going to go to conferences. I'm going to show up at their recruiting events. I'm going to talk to them in person. I'm going to stand in their lobby. I'm going to show up at other campuses that I don't belong. I will take a flight. I will do what I need to do to get there. I'm investing. Whenever you do that, you're not just investing in, you're not just wasting time or paying for a flight or gas or whatever to get there. You are investing in yourself, because it shows when you believe in yourself, when you are committed to your goals. That's the kind of person that they want to hire. Like, isn't that the kind of person that you would want to hire? Somebody who is willing to show up and do what needs to be done and doesn't have to wait for a direction or wait for instruction. And they'll go above and beyond. It speaks to your character. It speaks to who you are as a professional and the type of person that you are. So though that, I wanted to share that with you guys, because I know the job market right now is so tough. And I'm not saying to go stalk people, keep it legal, guys. But I am saying that I want to encourage you to think outside of the box. I want you to be willing to show up, show your face, make the human connection. Let them see you, let them hear you, shake their hands. If you've never taken like a training on like how to shake hands, that's a thing. It is a thing, right? Like all of that human interaction is what they're looking for, which is why we network, right? So you network in order to get like a referral, get your foot through the door, or somebody, mentions you or what have you. That's a human connection. But how much more powerful would it be if you were there making the connection for yourself? If you showed up and they could talk to you and they could hear from you and they could see firsthand how passionate and determined you are to be selected, to show yourself as the best choice candidate. So, anywho, that's my rant for today. I hope you enjoyed. If this has helped you, if this has encouraged you, I want you to not only subscribe to my channel, but I want you to share this video with 2 or 3 people, right? Like, let's do this together. Let's make sure that we are all working towards our goals. I believe that it is very possible to have amazing careers that you love. I love my career. Look at all my hard hats. I want that for you. So until next time, y'all. My name is Malia Lim. I am on a mission to help women in STEM be confident leaders. If you want to join my private coaching group, visit my website. The link is below. If you are an employer looking for a leadership development program for your company, send me a message on LinkedIn and we will connect and have that conversation. So until next time, y'all, stay savvy. You can do it. Go get it. And come to my networking masterclass, because if networking alone is giving you nightmares, I got you covered. Step by step. You guys know I do it really practical. So I got you.